And I'm Chris Rogers at 6:02 on the clock. We start off with your top story this morning. Good morning to you, Chris Rogers alongside Hadi Lager for you this morning. Let's get you up to speed on some breaking news out of Waco, where police and a SWAT team are on scene right now of an apparent shooting at an apartment complex there. We want to get you kind of a look at our traffic right now. This is a live look at the traffic as we speak in real time. You can see that dark red area there is where that closure is right now. It is. Yeah, Heidi, good morning to you. Of course, we saw yesterday some powerful emotions coming out of our nation's capital during the national funeral there. A quote that really stood out to me during George W. Bush's eulogy is when he described his father's decency, sincerity, and kind soul and said it would stay with us forever. And that seems to be really the sentiment that's shared by so many people around the globe. We do not know right now as we speak the relation those victims had to the suspect. Is that correct? We don't know if this was a domestic situation or really what led up to this shooting. Is that right? Week 4, 2018. We are so. Hey, wait! I think I'm missing someone. Where's my co-anchor here? Oh, entering in style. Heidi Laga, obviously entering in the way that she knows how. She wrote and asked if this story was true. Now, to give you a little background, it's about a Kenyan engineer who came up with a glove that can translate sign language to speech. Incredible, right? We did some digging, and yeah, this is the real deal. His name is Roy Alela, and he was inspired by his 6-year-old niece who was born deaf. It's a very tough subject to tackle, but unfortunately, a very stark reality for countless Americans. Right now in our country, some 5.7 million Americans suffer from Alzheimer's disease. It's a baffling, frustrating condition. So how do you cope? Well, over the course of the next 3 weeks, we are going to take a look at families who are answering that very question. And there are some bright moments, bordering on miraculous. This morning, we take a look at a man who can still count on a higher power. Just learning at this hour, inside that 25-minute video confession, police tell us he said, quote, "I wish I were sorry, but I'm not." And I'm Chris Rogers. We have a very busy news morning this morning. We've got some breaking news at this hour coming out of Temple. We are following a possible alleged shooting near Lamar Middle School right here in Temple. That is the reports that we are hearing right now in scanner traffic. One of the major ones being at Orangeburg High School, where a great number of people are starting to gather, especially people from those low-lying areas. Some people are coming in from Charleston. As we know, that's an area right now that's under some severe weather threat as well. I'll give you a little hint. Ready?
Yep. Lion King.
That's right. Hey, you got it right.
My turn. I'll give you a little hint. I can show you the world. Take you up.
I'm just kidding. I got you with Aladdin. It's a classic. When you watch this home video of an exuberant, active teenage boy playing basketball, celebrating another year of life, surrounded by friends, you might find it hard to believe that this is that same boy, Myron Hurst, less than a year ago, just after surgery, his future uncertain. Just
to see those pictures of, each day, the different things that he had to go through, it really took a toll on me then.
But this is a story about when chance meets unwavering faith.
I just know he's going to take me through it and be just fine with him on my side.
Tested by seemingly insurmountable odds.
He called and he said, "Mom, it's like my speech is slurred and my left arm is numb and my face is tingling."
That started with a devastating diagnosis.
It was a very difficult journey. Like, it's something you wouldn't just expect to pop up, coming and hearing that from the doctor, thinking it's just a regular visit. Just don't expect something like that.
That unexpected something has a name, Moya Moya.
Essentially, one of your major vessels gets narrower and narrower over a long period of time, and that results in decreased blood flow to that's part of the brain.
It's a condition so rare, its prevalence is staggering.
I think the incidence right now is around 0.56 per 100,000 people in U.S.
Rare enough that there aren't a whole lot of people that are qualified to treat it. So what are the chances that less than a month earlier, a neurosurgeon was transferred to McLean Children's Hospital from across the country, who just happened to call this disease her passion?
The first Moya Moya surgery I've done here, for sure. Yes.
If you ask the Hursts, this stroke of luck, this meeting of paths, comes from something a little bit bigger.
She's only been here, we find out,
less than
30 days. So, all right, here we go, Sid. We have a disease that probably not a surgeon was here to do it, but God had already orchestrated her move from Boston. And when we bring him here, she's already here.
8 hours.
I trust her through it all.
And some scary complications later.
God, the story can end like this. We've come too far for him to have to walk out of here and be drooping on the left side of his face and not talking right.
And Myron Hurst was on the other side.
And I remember getting a phone call from my wife, I think the second day after it had drooped. Oh, he's smiling again. He's smiling. His face is back to where it's supposed to be.
So when you watch that home video of a young man thriving,
Pleased to be back, knowing that I can still go back and do everything I did before. It's just amazing.
the Hursts want you to remember this story.
And I would just encourage everybody to pay attention to the symptoms. If you're having issues, seek help. Just get somebody to check it out, because it could be a matter of life and death.
This triumphant tale of lessons learned and friendships made, of resilience and faith.
Only by faith, only by the goodness and the glory and the mercy of God that we are where we are this day.
Sandy, smile. You have the best smile.
They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and maybe that's true. But try telling that to Cindy and Kevin Favreau.
This is their own place.
The couple moved here from Las Vegas with one goal in mind.
We wanted to come someplace where we could kind of fulfill our retirement dream, which was to help animals. We had volunteered at the shelter there. We wanted to help animals that were not ones that most people scooped up from a shelter.
And so out there on their little slice of paradise they call Wolf Haven Farm, dozens of friends have come and gone on to their forever homes, their faces framed and remembered.
2-3 weeks, they're like socialized, happy, normal dogs, ready to go and ready to be adopted.
But then there are those that are here for good, old and forgotten, sick and nearing the end. The Favreaus bring them in to live out their twilight years, surrounded by love and happiness.
And we have to look at it like, well, they're going to come here and they're going to enjoy themselves for the short time they might have left. And when they go, it's going to be sad, but at the same time, we've given them extra time and an enjoyable rest of their life until their last days.
Violet is shy and sweet. Her heart is failing. She's been here the longest.
Look at her making eye contact.
Cece loves to be loved. She's the star of the show. Hard to believe she came from hospice care 2 years ago.
Go!
They all have a story, a journey that led to a home. Bandit was owner surrendered when he reached old age.
And that's why we always say, how do these dogs wind up in the shelter anyways at 14, 15 years old? But they do.
Mabel loves to sniff and graze with the best of them, but when she arrived, she could barely walk.
She was falling like, 10 times an hour.
It's a calling that by its very nature has heartbreak built in.
You feel sorry for yourself. You're like, oh, I wish I could have had more time with them.
And soon enough, these dogs' time will come. For some, it already has.
That's Perry. He was with this whole gang. We had to have him euthanized on Christmas Eve.
But heartbreak is not nearly enough
Right.
to slow the Favreaus down.
We're not getting any younger, and there comes a point in your life where you say, I need to do something that makes a difference to somebody besides me. I've had a great life, but there came a point where I said, I need to start doing something, giving something back to this world. And I knew that with animals was where I wanted to take that thought.
They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and it turns out that's not so true. Because out here on Wolf Haven Farm, everyone can learn a little something about love and compassion, about the ups and downs, and about what it means to love and be loved back, if only for a fleeting moment. Because sometimes that's all it takes to learn a new trick.